Okay, guys, this is 10th November. This is gonna be a quick, not a quick, a bit, okay, a recap. Simply a recap for indices today. So, without wasting any time, let's get into it. Always starting off of the daily chart. If we just forget this for a moment, going into today, we had a pretty good framework from Friday's reversal of a relevant swing to clean till here, yes. Vice versa for NES, same relevant swing, and so this as the objective. YM on the other hand showed a kind of different story. Same here, manipulation of a relevant swing, but this, if you compare with the other two assets, this is a clear opposing relevant leg. Meanwhile, this is just a failure swing in both other assets, NQ and ES. YM, it is a clean opposing leg like this. In these two assets, it is just a failure swing here, but this is a clean opposing leg. And so my preference, but if I want to long, it would be ES or NQ going into the race. Simply just obvious, clear objective. No, like less of a restriction, less resistance. If short, which obviously daily wasn't too clean for short, but if short, then YM. But my first preference was still longs, as this is the high quality framework of the daily. Now, okay, narrative building part kind of good off of the daily, clear relevant swing manipulation. Now comes the part of confirming that narrative using the daily profile and driver alignment. Now let's get into it. High time frame idea, too good, too clean, A plus till here and ultimately till here as well. But how the daily profile formed wasn't the best way that it should form. Like how it formed, clean reversal, high probable, yes, but continuous expansion non-stop prior to 9:30. If I show you prior to 9:30, non-stop continuous expansion, and so I don't prefer to trade expansion to then and again expansion. So yes, I was desperately wanting an retracement leg, a retracement leg, sorry, as it was continuously expanding off of there. Yes, the draw is close here, close for ES as well, but still I just seeing or using phases of price, too much expansion and seeing price lose its momentum, lose its fuel. You can see the fuel here, compare it versus here. So yeah, it is demanding a retracement leg or any other phase. Why not reversal? Because objective still being open, right? So not expecting a reversal of here the last level of defense before the objective. So yeah, just expecting a retracement or consolidation and not reversal because objective is still this based off high time frame, but the intermediate time frame or the daily profile not forming the best way possible ideally. So being a bit conservative according to how the daily profile was forming, that was my criteria for today's, and I was pretty clear that 9:30 going into the day, only driver we had was 9:30 equities open, nothing else. I desperately want 9:30 to retrace a bit so that if I want to frame longs aligned with the daily direction obviously, then I want whole day has been expanding prior to driver and this expansion prior to today's opening. So I would want driver to retrace either here, any works, but preferably here this would have been better. this, and I was pretty clear if driver also directly expands into high of the day, I am not gonna long this. Like too much expansion and longing above highs, not ideal for me. Here, 90% chances I was like, उसको क्या बोलते हैं हम भाई? I was like telling again and again if 930 directly expand higher, no way I would try to long NQ. Then 10 a.m. would be kind of retracement like tomorrow goes ideally, but not the intraday best profile. And when this happens, M15, if I show you, 930 comes here. This is 915, this is 930. Directly expand. So I am very less interested seeing this. So my expectations are reduced very much. I mean, yes, could still be framed like looking like it could be framed, but being very selective about it would have been the criteria. But obviously the plan I made prior, sticking to that was my approach. Whole day has been expanding. This expansion from previous day's range, 930 also expands here, not interested. But at the same time, if you have a look at this asset, at the third correlated asset from the assets, daily chart showed that this could stay protected this high. If I show you again, only asset in the triad that can make you think that this could stay protected, this opposing leg has enough range relevant opposing leg, right? And the Ollie framework aligning with that as well. I mean, I'm not reversing this idea, just expansion and then retracement of this idea. What could be the retracement objective? Current low of the day. I'm not trying to reverse this whole narrative. This is not the intraday best framework for NQS to expand higher. YM is the weakest asset plus tags the best possible place where it could form a protected high to trade away from to frame this retracement. And yes, then I framed this. क्या क्या निकलता भाई इधर से and 930 expands higher, 930 manipulation immediately rejects. So yes, this is how you want a reversal to form. Immediate rejection only level I could be a bit concerned onto the low of the day being this. So yeah, this is where I preferred going on the lower time frames 3 5 any you want, using NQES at the same time. I mean, yeah, if you just ignore the daily profile alignment and just use this, you could think okay, price is breaking through high of the day and forming a true breakout signature. But that is only when you do not have a plan made prior. I was pretty clear. If 930 directly expands here, I am not gonna frame it. Highly likely probabilities are against me or not in my favor that it directly expands from here. I would desperately want a retracement leg 930 doing this, then 10 a.m. continuation. Then I could be comfortable trusting this. Just expansion off of the whole daily range. So yes, I'm okay if it would have happened all the way till here without me. That is not a quality A plus position for me. So yeah, I let this go, and YM had a kind of good framework at the same time. Clear drivers showing like relevance to an idea. So that is something you should pay attention to when the driver immediately aligns for an idea, hits a level where it should form a reversal if it wants to. Immediately rejects this much back inside. That is 930, immediately showing you the relevance. Now we just wait for a continuation to frame this. I was using this just to get a little more RR, because I am already being the weakest. You can just compare NQ strongest, ES middle but still strong. Why am weakest? Forms an enough ranged opposing leg, SMT there with RTY if I am not wrong. And then closer through this, I take an optimized entry around here. Do not exactly remember. The idea was still 930 reversal, 10 a.m. continuation till the draw. This draw was not solely made of the daily, but aligning the daily and like the conflicting idea for the assets which have bullish framework, but the daily profile didn't align well. The daily profile being not the ideal profile alignment for the bullish framework to be capitalized upon, and so using the asset like not that one shot one kill, but still a high probable scalping, but still you can consider this a high probable position, like more of a intraday range play. It is okay if you were just looking at NQES, but if you were just looking at NQES, avoiding them was a one shot one kill move. Not frame being able to frame IM, this is still okay. Daily chart you could get confused from YM, still okay. But framing longs out of NQES, not a good thing. Daily looks good, but not the hourly or daily profile alignment, not how you would want it to form. This is what I take, and it ends up turning in my favor when simply you have conflicting ideas or not the best alignment. You heavily want to rely on driver and how it aligns with your idea. Now you could say to me at the same time that NQ aligned, driver aligned, okay. 930 expanded through I showed a breakout signature. I mean, yes, if you are just framing off of 5 minute, 5 minute is just the entry time frame. It is not where you confirm narrative. Like it can be used in some specific situations, but you do not use the daily with directly with the 5 minute, right? I wasn't even on the 5 minute until like 9:35 or 40. M15 I was there, yes, but 5 minute, nope. Orly was my go-to time frame until 9 a.m. Pretty clear. Now you know, even though daily had the best framework, why if you try to frame longs, why your longs failed, and why you shouldn't be looking to frame longs at first. Not even shorts, but longs not the best alignment for the high time frame area. High time frame too good, goated, but not the goated profile alignment. I mean, this week I am still bullish. This reversal is too good to not capitalize upon, at least till here, or maybe range high as well, but not immediately. Today, tomorrow, bank holiday sets up some framework. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I am highly interested in framing NQ longs, preferably, but the intraday development wasn't too good. So, completely fine if you weren't able to frame this why I'm short, if you weren't able to figure out why I'm short, completely fine, but not fine if you still took NQ longs. It would be kind of forcing. One part is building narrative, one part is confirming that narrative. Daily setting up the narrative of your 100% best from your side. Best from your side. But now the part is confirming that narrative. For that, we use daily profile alignment for the day we are supposed to frame. Daily profile includes driver alignment and how the daily candle is forming. not the best way form. Like at the peak, driver also expands here, not the best place, already above highs, no protected swing, just expansion, expansion, expansion. Like, would you expect it directly all the way till there on the intermediate time frame? Nope, right? Tell me, like here, you won't even, like, there would be 1 out of 10 situations where this could happen, but logically, think logically, would you expect all this move to be done without a single black candle, a retracement which you can call? Like idly, how it some any move forms, reversal, some kind of retracement, then move higher, some kind of retracement. Like retracement still small, expansion big, but still it is there to make up for the fuel of this expansion. But this time it wasn't there, and you can see how the fuel was getting exhausted here. Compare the displacement here versus here. 930 immediately goes ahead. Best spot to form a retracement leg. And now have a look at the H4 at the same time. Whole day expanding. All 4 candles. I won't prefer framing another candle in the same direction, H4. Just like the way we use 3 daily candles if expand in the same direction. Not high probable to frame the 4th daily candle in the same direction, right? Same way with H4. 3, 4 candle in the same direction. Not the highest probable case to frame 5th candle in the same direction without any intra candle retracement. है ना? I'm not saying you should have framed YM anyhow. Like if you wanted to, if you were able to, like क्या कहते हैं उसको, figure out, then okay. If you were not able to, still okay. But you should have paid attention. Why not NQ? Why you should not frame NQ? This was my position. This here 930 reversal, bearish order flow, rejecting highs, displacing through lows, relevant opposing candles, rejecting price lower. Yes, sir. This is where I executed. After this candle closed through these, validating them as relevant opposing candles, I can trust to capitalize upon the move. Executing here and then parceling XYZ. And I उसको क्या बोलते हैं, चिल्लाने को या क्या? I was calling again and again no to NQ longs if nine
Indirectly telling.
if nine, like not exactly signaling, but in a way of educating and walking price action live, but not spoon feeding at the same time. Like I make some efforts, you make some efforts. क्या बोलते हैं? Learning together way of learning the or approaching the markets together in a good environment where you get to know how to approach bad conditions, how to approach good conditions, but that could XYZ blah 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 with guidance but not spoon feeding. I make sure I do not spoon feed directly but help and not directly spoon feed. So yeah, any doubts if you people have? This all was between I live streamed this day. Not exactly showed my position but kept telling not no to NQ longs, and if NQ is the strongest, YM is the weakest, why I'm showing some reaction, why I don't want to frame NQ, and why am I could just not give the entry signature but narrative building confirming part, yes. So like helping a little bit and leaving the little bit work on the people themselves as well. I would improve on this as well, but I would like create a Figma post of this if I get time. But yes, this was my position for today. Any doubts? कितने मिनट का हुआ है? 20 मिनट. Nice. How was it? Just by sorted RTY instead of YM. Like, I wouldn't prefer. I told why I wouldn't even touch RTY again based off of daily chart.
क्या चक्कर है?
मेरे को बोल रहे हो आप?
गलती से
पागल हो गए यार. Like, I do not have, neither do I have a protected swing which I can use to frame away. Just भाई थे या आप थे? आप थे भाई, है ना? Neither do I have a protected swing which I can trust to trade away from. It is a failure swing to this, and yes, it is not an SMT. Neither do I have a clear protected high to frame away from. So daily is my first step. No clarity of the daily chart. I would wait, simply let the framework build. I simply am unbiased. I do not know if it wants to reach here first or reach here first. So no idea. If I have no idea of the daily, then what alignment would I want, to which direction? I simply do not know where I should frame away, frame towards or frame, and so to which direction I could look for the confirmation when I don't even know that direction. Yeah, but I use RTY for like correlation factor for YM, but I was pretty clear going into the day. RTY isn't my pick, and explained the D process why it wasn't a pick. Simply just waiting for any of these to get hit, then framework would get built for me. This is protected, so this becomes a relevant swing high, relevant swing low, where opportunity could exist for me here. This is a at now, like for now, this is a no participation zone for me. उसको क्या बोलते हैं? Neutral range, not bullish, neither bearish. NQ bullish, short, YM. I would see I can still frame it lower, I can still frame it higher. NQS preferably bullish, at least till there. Then we would see. Any doubts else I would. We can make another recording for rhythm wise doubts and just keep this to recap so people can view them in an organized way. Huh? So your doubt got cleared. Good Josh. Low time frame may would have looked same for RTY as well, but I prefer framing the asset with the high time frame alignment. Asset without the high time frame alignment can do the work 1 out of 10 cases or 2 out of 10 cases, but the main thing why we are using all these things to just get the probabilities as much as possible in our favor, get more and more probabilities in our favor. So yeah, and yes, then I would end the recap here. Not that quick, but not too long recap. This is 10th November, Monday. Okay, have a nice day.